Bernie Sanders recently had a rally and a tour with Rashida Tlaib, a congresswoman who is supporting his candidacy, and Scott Walker, a former failed presidential candidate. He decided to jump in with a gotcha about the socialists, Bernie Sanders and Rashida Tlaib. He tweeted this: "Anyone notice the backdrop behind Bernie Sanders and Rashida Tlaib looked like the empty shelves of grocery stores in many socialist countries? Irony." There's a little bit of irony, but it's not actually that. So look, he's got the gotcha. He's not the only one. The right-wing blog Gateway Pundit also ran a piece mocking their poor choice of location for a photo opportunity titled "Perfect. Two radicals, Bernie Sanders and Rashida Tlaib, stand in front of empty grocery store shelves and push socialism." And even Ted Cruz got in the mix, saying, "Under socialism and communism, people line up for bread. Under capitalism, there are lines and lines of bread at the grocery for people to choose from." The problem is that they weren't at a grocery store, and even if they were, I don't understand that the grocery store just wouldn't be well stocked. I don't know how that proves their point, but it wasn't at all. And they were so excited to attack these people that, again, just like everything in politics, they were so excited that they had to tweet about it, but not excited enough to actually do any fact checking. The photo was taken at the last stop of a corporate greed tour, which Representative Tlaib takes Detroit visitors on. Sanders and Tlaib's final stop was at a food pantry, where free food, water, and clothes are given to low-income families in Detroit. The pantry is running out of bottled water at the moment due to the fact that a number of families in Detroit have had their water shut off because they can't pay the bills. The shelves are not empty because of socialism or communism. It's because it's a food pantry that's doing its job and passing out the food and bottled water that they have to the many needy families in the area. That takes 10 seconds to find out.
Some of them know it. I think Ted Cruz is one of them that probably did.
That tweet's still up, by the way, with no correction, even though we've known since yesterday exactly what was going on.
You can't take tweets down because then that'll.
He could tweet something in response.
No,
he could say, "Hey, by the way, I realize this was really stupid. This is boneheaded of me at best. But I'm too scared of looking weak."
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna be weak,
in
fact.
He has enough non-thinking supporters that it doesn't matter. He'll leave it up and they go, "Yeah, that's right. You stay strong with your lie. We like that." So the selection of bread at the food pantry that Ted Cruz is talking about. How about that selection of being able to maybe turn on your faucets and get clean water? Things like that they will continue to say is happening and not happening in this country, but claim that happens in socialist countries only. And then we say capitalism, yeah. So as soon as we say all this, and then we try to ignore the real problems of the country, and this is a perfect example of it. Call these things socialists and cover the fact that they're exposing what capitalism does to so many people in the country.
Exactly.
Just whitewash one thing and lay all the blame on what you want to lay it on, and you get enough idiot people to follow you.
Yeah, there are two basic types of political commentary, whether from politicians or right-wing media, and it's effectively the same thing at this point. There is the, don't actually care about the facts, but I gotcha. And then there's the sort that actually listens and investigates and tries to understand. You've seen the one, now see the other. At that same event that they were so giddy about attacking, there was another media figure. Let's see if you recognize her.
I'm here at the Brightmoor Connection Food Pantry in Detroit, Michigan, where Senator Bernie Sanders joined Representative Rashida Tlaib, this is her district, to talk to constituents about water shortages, water getting cut off for residents if they didn't pay 10 cents of their bill, food shortages, just general poverty here, and how there's all this talk about how Detroit is coming back. Well, it's being seen in downtown Detroit, but in these areas, not so much.
So that is, of course, Emma Vigeland, who is 100% right. And look, Gateway Pundit could have sent one of their journalists there, but they had no interest in doing that. But Emma went and listened to people in the area, and she learned about what's going on there, and through her work, helped to teach other people who have not been to Detroit and don't necessarily know how it's gentrifying in the downtown area, but obviously a lot of people don't have basic things like food and water. That's a different way to go. I think a better way to go.
It's amazing. So all this capitalism is working, and we talk about the job numbers and all this, and no one asked that second question. These people, these job numbers, and everyone, like the rising lack of unemployment, are they still living? Are they surviving? Are their kids making it? Are their kids going to school and the free lunch program screwing them over? Are they compiling a bill there and then the school comes after them? We've talked about all these stories. The problems escalate from there on out, but we don't talk about the rest of that stuff. It's strictly based in that damn socialism, and it's a scary enough word when they push it this many times, and this many times they lie. No matter what the argument is, If you just yell socialism,
yeah,
you're on their side.
And so that's the thing. All of their attacks are, look at how scary it would be if there was socialism or communism, whether in reality or our weird version of it that we don't really understand. But the thing is, like, look at what we've got right now, not hypothetically after some change, but the actual system we have. So Reverend Rosalind Bouyer, the executive director of that pantry, says that the shelves are empty because we're doing our job, because people need the food. That shows the inhumanity. America needs to do better. That's the sadness of it. For this community, any community in America, to be without food and water, to constantly have to live with housing insecurity or water insecurity, it's so utterly ridiculous. It's so evil. It is evil in of itself. And that's what we have right now. And so let's talk about Scott Walker really fast. Scott Walker, Ted Cruz. Scott Walker might want to take a look at Wisconsin because apparently food insecurity affects 1 in 5 Wisconsin children. Oh, but that's right. He would actually know about this because back in his 2013 to 2015 state budget, he dropped at least 15,000 out of work Wisconsin residents from the state's food stamps program. So that 20%, it got a little bit higher thanks to him. It's fun to joke about people not being able to find food under socialism, but he's working his ass off to make sure that under capitalism, they don't have access to food. Ted Cruz, he should actually pay more attention to this issue because as bad as Wisconsin has it, Texas actually has it worse than the national average for food insecurity, especially for children. There are literally almost 2 million Texans who are currently experiencing food insecurity, but he doesn't have time to actually propose any sort of fix to that because he's so busy trying to get people on Twitter.
All those choices of bread on the shelves, but nobody can buy them.
Exactly. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.